Welcome to video 2 of section 1, lesson 1, fractions to decimals. Now we briefly already looked at converting some fractions to decimals like 1/2 and 1/4. Now these are common fractions that you should just know. What we need now is procedure for changing something like 4/25 into a decimal. So one way to do that is to write the fraction over 100 or a multiple of 10. So that we can easily convert to a decimal. We learned that when something is over 10 or 100 or 1,000, we just move our decimal place to the left, depending on how many zeros there are. So now when I look at 4/25, I see that I can indeed write that over 100 since 25 times 4 is 100. So if we multiply the fraction by 4, then we can change it to a decimal easily. So let's do that. Let's multiply 4/25 by 4. Now when we do that, we need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 4. So when I multiply, I get 16 over 100. I just multiply the two numerators, 4 times 4 to get 16, and the two denominators, 25 times 4, which is 100. Now what I created here are in fact equivalent fractions, because multiplying by 4/4 didn't actually change the fraction, since 4/4 is really 1. So since I multiply by 1, I've kept it the same. So they are equivalent. So now let's practice that. Let's practice creating equivalent fractions and then actually changing the fraction to a decimal. So I have 36 over 5. So I can change that to a denominator of 10 by multiplying by 2. So multiplying numerator and denominator by 2, I get 72 over 10, which is written like this, 7.2, which we say as 7 2/10. Now for b, my denominator is 50. So I can multiply that by 2, so it's 100. So when I multiply by 2, I get 54 over 100. Now, moving the decimal 2 places to the left, I get this, 54 hundredths. And then for c, I have 20 in the denominator. So what can we multiply 20 by to get 100 is what you need to ask yourself. 20 times 5 is 100. Now 19 times 5 is 95, and 20 times 5 is 100. So that gives us 0.95. 95 hundredths. Now let's practice some more. This time the note says that we can also divide to find equivalent fractions. In the last few examples we always multiplied, but now you can also divide. So when I see 30 over 500, I see that I can make 500 into 100 by dividing by 5. So let's do that. 30 divided by 5 is 6, and the bottom will be 100. So now as a decimal, moving your decimal 2 places to the left, it gets written like this. So we have 6 hundredths. Now first, when I see something like 28 over 40, I would try to multiply 40 by something to get 100 on the bottom. But 40 can't be multiplied by any whole number. But if I divide by 4, I can make 40 into 10. So let's do that. So if I divide by 4, I will get 7 over 10. And that can be written like this. Now 42 over 200 can be just divided by 2 to get a denominator of 100. So when I divide by 2, I get 21 over 100, which is 0.21 written as a decimal. Now, it may not always be possible to multiply or divide even a fraction by a number to get the denominator to be a multiple of 10, like in all the examples that we have done. So if we look at something like 2 over 3, there's nothing that I can multiply 3 by, no whole number at least, in order to get 10 or 100. So we need another method in order to change a fraction like this into a decimal. So that's for a future video. So now you can proceed to the next video in this lesson.